Okay. And one more. Hey lovelies, welcome to episode number 42 of the journey of self-love through self-care. Today I've got a really special guest on, Sakina, hope I'm saying that right. And Sakina, I connected with her on Instagram because a client of mine recommended facial acupuncture and I thought, or facial cupping, sorry. And I was like, I've never heard of it. So I've had a research and I watched your videos, and I've been someone in the past that's had Botox and had fillers and stuff at like from about I think early 30s, and it was getting to that point where I was starting to go on this journey of looking to like look after myself more and be more holistic, and I was starting to trying to find ways to look after my body without having to put something into it and start to look at ways that I can utilize what I've got. So do you want to sort of share who you are and how you maybe began this journey, and let people know what facial cupping is about? And I think you began with acupuncture as well.
Yeah. Hi, Amy. My French accent is coming in. Yeah, thank you so much for having me today. So how it started, I mean, it's a lockdown story in a way, like yours, I think. So I've been an acupuncturist for 11 years now, and I used to work in the UK and also in the US on a cruise ship. I was doing acupuncture on a cruise ship on a Disney line, actually. And it was great because I saw so many patients, like, so we were sailing to Hawaii, Alaska. It was so good because I had my treatment room. And when you're an acupuncturist, you are like well treated in a way. You have your own room, your double bed. It's a luxury on a cruise ship, So really, really a good time. So I did that for a year, and then I came back to the UK, keep doing acupuncture for until 2020, I guess, until the lockdown. And and in March 2020, suddenly I couldn't see my patient anymore. So I was doing a lot of facial acupuncture, a lot of acupuncture for the many different conditions, but also a lot of facial acupuncture. And very early in my practice, I started added facial cupping to the cosmetic acupuncture treatment. I actually started with a person having Bell palsy. It was like a paralysis on one side of the face.
Paralyzed.
Yeah, paralyzed. And she came to see me for acupuncture. So I did some acupuncture on her, but I did some massage as well, but I wanted to do something else. So I wanted to start to do cupping, but when you do cupping as an acupuncturist, you do fire cupping. So you put a flame into a glass cup to remove the oxygen, and you put it on the body. And I wanted to do that on the face, but you cannot do that on the face because it's too dangerous, right? It's for the body. So I started looking back in 2011, facial cupping. I just thought, okay, cup, but for the face. And it wasn't famous as it is now, so I found some cup in South Korea, I think. I got it cheap, and I did some acupuncture on my patient, but I started doing some facial cupping as well. And it really, really made a massive difference to a Bell palsy, to a paralysis. I did it as well on another patient who had like a trigeminal neuralgia, which is the inflammation of the nerve that is very painful on the face. And I started to do some gentle cupping over her. And it was amazing. I mean, I really had very, very good results. So I started to think, okay, if it can help a paralyzed muscle to work again on someone who is paralyzed, what about adding facial cupping to my facial acupuncture patients? So I just tried myself. It's not like I learned from somebody. So I did some acupuncture on people as usual for the cosmetic treatment, and I started to do some cupping, and people loved it, really, really loved it. And it was at the very beginning of my journey as an acupuncturist. So bit by bit, I developed my protocol, for facial rejuvenation with acupuncture and facial cupping. And I knew there was a business idea behind, but it was 10 years ago, because people were always asking me, where can I buy the cup? So I was sending them, on eBay, Amazon, what kind of oil can I use? But I didn't want to be a retailer, I just wanted to be an acupuncturist. And so I did that for 10 years, and then lockdown happened. And I can tell you the full story of how it started, but shall I, or we don't have time?
It's
fun.
Yeah, go for it. It's just
It's
I'm just trying to concentrate because your accent's so cute, and I'm just like trying to really listen.
okay. So the story is like, okay, March 2020, I cannot see my acupuncture patient anymore. Like everybody. So lockdown, I am in a two bedroom flat with two kids, like 1 year old and 3 years old. My husband having to work from home, and we cannot go out. I mean, it was hard, but we could still go out. I took the right to go out in a big park, like a big park without toy, but just a big park. And here I meet a guy. First, I thought he was a bit cocky. It was very hot. I don't know if you remember in March 2020. He was always without a shirt. And okay. And he started talking to me. And it happened. He has a son, same age as my eldest. And we started to talk and we started to get on very well. So his wife was working at home. My husband was working at home. And we were stuck with our kid for hours during the day, having to do something. And we ended up being friends. Well, we were meeting every day. And one day he told me, "Oh, you're gonna meet my wife." So finally, I meet his wife after a month, maybe. Stephanie, American girl, instant connection with her, and she was a beauty therapist that had got into the sugaring industry. So when you can wax with honey or with sugar, I think it's just sugar and honey, something like that. And she built a business that really worked. But she got also hit by the lockdown. And she told me, "Oh, Sakina, do you do facial cupping?" And I said, "Yes, I do so much facial cupping. I mean, it's my thing, And she said, "You should open a business." And I said,
You what, sorry?
She told me, "You should open a business. You should create a business." And I said, "Okay." And we paired up together. She said, "How should I be named? The facial cupping expert." It was her actually who found the name. And from that, I don't know, it clicked in my head. I said, okay, it's the right time to do a business. And I wanted to be with her, as a business partner, but she said, "Sakina, you can go on your own." So I opened an Instagram page with 0 follower and started from scratch, and that's how it happened. And then, first of all, I just wanted to teach people how to do facial cupping. But very quickly it's thought, okay, I need to source out the cup, I need to source out the oil, and I created the business like this, and so I developed a 6-step protocol to teach, first of all, to my patient who couldn't see me anymore, but very quickly more people were interested. So I actually recorded the video of the 6-step protocol. And maybe 2 months after, I had many therapists, like acupuncturists, massage therapists, beauty therapists, who asked me, "Do you teach to professional?" And I said, "No, but I could." So I simply recorded a course to teach to professional, which got accredited like in a month. And then that's it. It's just, and then the roll was rolling.
So before the lockdown, and you was doing the acupuncture, so it was for people that had like paralysis. Was that from like strokes or from?
Oh yeah, but it's just one condition. Many people had nothing, and they just came for cosmetic acupuncture.
I didn't know that was a thing. That's so.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's so good.
Was you? I guess before you had the children as well, you was just working, just like seeing as many people, because there's only one of you, right? So you can only see X amount of people a day.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And then when you started, that's amazing then. So you've gone from no experience on like Instagram or anything like that, and it's just gone.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did you, how did you sort of start to grow that following and did it just roll naturally? I guess people are at home.
No. Well, what happened is like, I started following people who were teaching how to grow an Instagram account. And I met this girl. I had one chat with her, but I started to follow this girl called Jeannie Fears on Instagram, and she had very, very low followers. We almost started at the same time, but I started following her, and I was putting into practice everything she was saying. She was giving so good content for Instagram growth, And so I was following what she was saying and just implementing what she was saying, Yeah. So
what was her name? Sorry.
Her name is Jeannie Fears.
Jenny Fears. I'll put her at the bottom for people to sort of find that.
Yeah, she's excellent. She's really, really good, you know. She's
And
really, really good.
when this all started to shift, like, does it feel like your old life was even like? I'm guessing you're a lot more free now. You can do. I'm guessing your life has totally changed now from how it
Yeah, I work about 100 times more, but but it's fun. I mean, having a business, you must be in the same case with you doing podcast and doing what you like. I really, really enjoy the journey. I have very supportive husband, I have to say. But yeah, having a business, it's you work all the time, but it's fun, and it's fun. I really enjoy the journey, you know, and I connect with so many women in the world, and I love it. I really, really enjoy it.
It sounds it's amazing how life just can suddenly change overnight,
Yeah,
and then just one idea can sort of lead into one, and it just shows us that we don't even need experience in something like with Instagram but I do feel like nowadays Instagram, I don't know if it's got harder for you or more challenging, but it's almost like I found that the growth is sort of, I found like I was getting really distracted on Instagram as well a lot, so I've sort of took space from it. How have you sort of found your relationship doing social media and navigating through all of this?
oh, I'm quite good, I would say. I don't watch a lot of Instagram. I use Instagram for my business, but I don't watch it much. Even my friend, I mean, they post so many stories, and sometimes I just don't see them. You know, I'm careful with that. You know, I'm careful not to have social media. Even if I'm part of social media, I'm really careful not to let social media invade my life too much. Although TikTok is a bit of that's a bit bad, TikTok, but yes, no, I try to be careful. And yeah, about the growth, I think we have to be willing to change. Instagram has changed so much, and I've seen a lot of people being stuck in the past on how Instagram works. So I think you need to be willing to embrace the change and the change, and to go with the flow, to keep giving good content. I think good content, it's really what matters, and also be willing to change, to change and not blame the algorithm. How we say?
Yeah.
Algorithm. Yeah. So I follow, you know, Adam Mosseri, like the head of Instagram, you know, because there's so many changing, and I follow a lot of Instagram, not guru, but Instagram, how do you say, people who know about Instagram, you know.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah, they know what it is. So I follow a lot. I try to learn, you know, I try to learn, and the more you do, the fastest it gets. To create a video, it takes me 5 seconds now. It takes me 5 minutes to record a video. It doesn't take, at the beginning I could spend 2 hours, 3 hours to know how to fast forward, back forward, the light, you know, so I need to learn, you know, you need to face a window, you press record mainly, and then you become more confident talking to the camera. And I have to say, I work on trying to understand how to do things well, in a way, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's because it's your baby, it's your business,
yeah, but it's fun. The thing is, like, it's great when you like what you do, and you know, if you go to work and it's you know, like, if you're like, oh no, it's Monday, and finally, God, it's Sunday, it's Friday, you know, it's a pain, it's difficult. Whereas when you like what you do, whatever the day, you know, it's great. You know.
Do you feel like it's really brought out your creativity as well, like your creative, playful side?
What I learned is you don't. From Instagram, what I really learned is, like, you don't try to copy anyone, just be who you are, and that's so relaxing, because I don't have to pretend, you know, like, if I don't want to post a story, I don't post a story, you know what I mean? I don't force myself. If I'm not inspired, I don't do it, and you know, like, I don't and you just have to be who you are, and whoever you are. Like, I have a friend, she has a business, and she's doubting a lot, and she has a bit of anxiety, and I was saying that just share your anxiety. It will talk to people. Don't try to be somebody who is not anxious if you are anxious. And so many people can relate. And because it's amazing to be, anyone is amazing. Anyone is amazing. And somebody with anxiety is amazing. And he can talk to an audience. So my audience is completely different from somebody else, even in the beauty business. We attract our tribe, and yeah.
Did you, when you was going on this journey, I guess as it was picking up momentum, it was exciting and it was fun. But did you find there was times when, because I find for me a lot doing my own business or having my own time is I get a bit overwhelmed with like what to do next, or because you all of a sudden you can choose it. You can choose exactly what you want to do in every single moment. Does it ever sort of get overwhelming, or did you have like a bit of a, I guess with the Instagram, a bit of a roadmap, but do you ever sort of question what you're doing, or was you?
Alors, I had a difficult time last year, but because something in my personal life happened, and it was much more difficult to post video. I didn't create a new video for maybe 4 months. I was reposting video I had filmed last year and putting them into reel. I couldn't face myself going into the camera. It was a difficult moment, but it was more on the personal side. Long story, but it's more that otherwise I always been because I don't force myself. It's not too difficult, because if I don't want to do it, I just don't do it, And if the day I'm not completely not motivated, I'll stop and that's it, You know what I mean? I don't know.
How did it feel like going through the experience of having a personal matter and then saying, I'm not going to do anything? Like before, would you have worked through it, or would you have sort of, did it feel like?
I was still very happy to post on Instagram, but I couldn't create new videos. I don't know, like talk. I don't know. It's really strange. It's really strange this time. Yeah. I don't know. I just didn't do any video, but I still posted video. It was just.
But what I mean is like, when we go through, like before this journey for me, like if something happened in my personal life, I would just keep going and keep working, because I was, I had to make money and I had to stay. I just had this workaholic in me that was like, even if something happened in my life that was even colossal or small, I'd just keep going. But now, like similar to you, when a personal matter comes up, it's like I need to take a step back. I've got lots of recordings, I've got lots of things I'm doing, whereas before I would have never stopped. I would have probably just kept going.
Okay, I know what you mean. I don't know, because I cannot tell you. I cannot give you an answer. I would have kept. I generally am someone who keeps going anyway. But it's very different because I've never been out there, like being on social media. It's the first time I am on social media. So I don't really have anything to compare. You know what I mean?
No, but before, like when you used to work with clients and stuff, would you?
No, I would keep going. I remember. Oh, yes, my goodness. I was pregnant. I didn't know I was pregnant, and I had like a zona. Like it was painful. Zona is a reactivation of the chickenpox virus, and it was all over my chest, but it's like massively painful and you're super tired. I didn't cancel one appointment. I went to see all my patients.
This is what I'm saying. Like now.
No. I would no. I never called sick. I think I called sick one in my life always. I keep going. Definitely.
So what do you feel like has changed then to give you, like, it's almost like you have to give yourself permission, like I need to stop, or I need to pause. Like what?
But it's not. I don't have a struggle with that. It's like if I don't feel like it, I just don't do it, and it's not. I don't feel guilty, and I don't have bad thoughts coming with it. I just don't do it. And I think it's very important to keep going on social media, to be true to yourself. Because if you push, you're gonna crash. And maybe I'm gonna crash. But I'm just thinking, if I don't want to do it, I just don't do it.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, because that's something like the old me would have just kept going. But
if you do it against your, what there is inside, at some point you cannot continue. No, I don't know.
So with the actual facial cupping then, because when I first got the facial cups, it came with like I got the oil as well, like it was like a cactus.
Yeah, prickly pear oil. Yeah, cactus. Yeah, yeah.
That's it. So what's the story sort of behind the like why that oil and why like with that?
Yeah, it's just from experience. I mean, I tried so many oil on my patient, and I started with coconut oil. I mean, because I'm not a beauty therapist, and it's like, coconut oil from the face is really not good, like it can create breakout. So I tried many different oil with my patients, and I came across the prickly pear oil. It's one of the most expensive on the market. It's because I mean, it's very sustainable because it's from cactus, so it doesn't need water. But and cactus grow, it's not expensive to grow a cactus. That is field in any hot countries of cactus of prickly pear. The fruit neither is not expensive, but the thing is that it's the extraction. So it's from the seed, and you need 1 million seed to create 1 liter. So, and it's 8 hours of extraction, 1 million seed to create just 1 liter. So it's the most expensive oil on the market. So yeah, it doesn't sound like it, but it's yeah, it's very expensive. It's super expensive, even for me, to buy. Like and I think I'm not one of the cheapest, but because on Amazon there is like cheaper oil, but they must, order thousands of bottles, which are really not fresh, So me, I only make very small orders. So my supplier only cold press when I ask him to cold press. So it's never older than 2 weeks, time to pack and ship and all that. So.
What happens if it isn't cold pressed, or does that mean the oil isn't as good, or does it affect like the skin, or?
But you have the most property. I mean, there is more vitamin D than any other oil on the market, and the fresher it is, the stronger the smell. Some people can not like the smell, but the best property it has for the skin. So yeah. So you need. I mean, it's a very good pure oil when it's really pure. Some people they must mix it with other oil, or some people sell the prickly pear oil, which is very cheap because it's just the fruit, So it's a very pure oil that is very difficult to extract, and but that has amazing property for the skin. It's like
I noticed as well when I was using it, because I use it now every couple of days. When I first got it, it said use every day for 7 days, like with the cupping. Then it was every other day, and then it was like I think once or
three, 1 to 3 times a week. Yeah.
And I noticed like when I do it, like my face naturally does look totally like more lifted and natural the next day, and I just feel like my face looks a lot younger than.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, like it's probably shifted as well, like lack of stress and combination as well. But I find for me, and even when my mum used it, I said you have to try this. The next day she messaged me, she went, "Oh, I look really different."
That's amazing. I love this comment. So yeah.
Literally like overnight. So how does it work exactly? Like what happens underneath the skin? What's going on, and what's the sort of principles or the philosophy behind it?
Yeah, it's a bit like acupuncture, like you create a mini trauma to the face. So the skin is like, okay, we need to repair. So it's like a massive boost of collagen, blood circulation. You wake up the muscle, you wake up the skin of the face. And so you encourage your skin to create more collagen, but your own collagen. It's not like you inject anything inside. So that's a body natural healing response to a mini trauma that you can cause with the negative pressure from the facial cup.
So the body creates its own collagen.
Yeah.
Doing.
Yeah. It's amazing. Yeah.
That's
doing acupuncture. Yeah. Sorry.
And then I saw because I had the little card that came with it and it gave me the instructions, but you'd also sort of created little videos. But I saw that you also created like actual online training courses for it as well. So
yeah, but you should have access to it. Some people that don't, generally the link is with the email to say thank you, and it's also on the green card. So when you get the cup, you have access to the full protocol online.
But then I also saw you do like other training courses as well.
Yeah, I do. So I do one for professional, So that is really good if you are a beauty therapist or acupuncturist or massage therapist, reflexologist. I have so many different professions taking the course, and if you want to add it to your treatment toolbox in a way, of what you're offering, because more and more women are, or men as well, I don't know, but are looking for alternative treatment to Botox, like natural way of taking care of the face. So more and more beauty therapists are now offering facial cupping as part of their treatment.
And I got the bigger cup as well last time when I did another order for the legs and
for the cellulite. Yeah.
And for the tummy as well. So does it?
Yeah.
I saw, like some of your videos as well. So how does it work exactly? Because I know a lot of people have got like not problem areas, but areas they might not like very much. Like that work on like toning the skin and lifting.
Oh, it works amazing. It works so well, but it's time consuming. So I started doing it on myself, but back in because there was a brand in France called Celu Blue. They were selling this mini cellulite cup. And I ordered it. When was the first time? And I did it on myself, but it was before kids, and I was going to the gym, so I was in the steam room doing my 10 minutes on each area, or watching a Netflix series, because it's like you need to do it 10 minutes on each area of the leg, or the arm or the tummy. So it's very time consuming, and not everybody has the time. But it's the only thing that works for cellulite. It recreates the, how do you say, pinch and roll technique of massage.
Yep.
And so except that instead of doing a pinch and roll technique on yourself or generally at a beauty place, you do it with the cup, and it's so much easier. It can be painful actually. The more cellulite you have, the more painful it is. But the more you do, the less painful it is. The less cellulite you have, and it really works. In our family we tend to have some cellulite, and so I did it back, I don't know, 7-8 years ago. I went to see my sister, and I was like in a swimsuit, and they said, "Miss Sakina, you don't have any more cellulite," like almost and then you need to keep doing it, but it really works. It really works if you put the time.
So when you was doing it, do you have to do it like forever now, sort of thing, or do you do it every now and again, or how does it work with it?
Yeah. After you need to, if you manage to do it once a week, but you need time. But the best is to put a towel, because from experience, if you're using oil, and you can use coconut oil on your leg, it's less messy than liquid oil, because you rub it into your hand and you apply it. You put a towel on your sofa, you watch Netflix, because you cannot really read a book with one hand. The best is to watch Netflix or listen to a podcast that lasts 40 minutes, and you do your session.
And how would that work? Would that work on like the stomach as well, if people had stretch marks, or if people
stretch mark is the best combined with prickly pear seed oil, which can become expensive.
Which oil?
Prickly pear seed oil. I would recommend to use this oil if you have stretch marks. For cellulite, whatever, like whatever oil, the cheapest is fine. For the stretch marks, the prickly pear seed oil will be best. And doing some cupping over the stretch mark, it can really, really help as well. Yeah. And for C-section scars, yeah.
Because I also had I used to have implants in, so I've got like scar tissue underneath.
Oh yeah.
So would that be good to sort of help with scarring?
Yeah, definitely, but it's a bit difficult to you're doing to do it like this. But and again with prickly pear seed oil. Yeah, that would definitely help. Scars. I used to have a massive scar here. You can still see it, but much less. I used to. When people used to meet me, they used to say, "Oh, Sakina, that's a nice name. Where does it come from? Oh, you have a scar. Where does it come from?" Like it was a 2 question people would generally ask me. Nobody, maybe because I'm older and people don't dare, I don't know, but nobody asked me anymore about my scar.
Wow.
Yeah.
How would it, because that's the thing, because the operation was underneath the breast and then also across the nipple. So I'm wondering if there would help. But would it also help with, 'cause I know a lot of us sort of like with the breast tissue, does it help lift the breast?
No, well, no. Yeah, that's a question I often get asked. So the skin is very delicate over the breast. So you can do it on your chest here, but directly on the breast, no, it's too strong. No,
Okay.
I mean, otherwise, I mean, imagine we have a solution for lifting breast. I think I'll be a millionaire by now, no?
Just give it another year and I'm sure you'll figure it out. So because one thing that I do as well is dry brushing, so that helps up.
Yeah, that's so good, so good.
Because when
So
I
good.
was doing the facial, I was using the bigger cup as well under the arm. I don't know if that's something that you sort of
Yeah,
recommend.
it is, but it's very it can be very tiring. No, I don't know how you find it on the arm. You need to find a position. It works really well, but it's difficult of access. No, how did you feel doing it on your arm?
I felt all right, to be honest.
Yeah, you
Like,
feel all right. Okay.
yeah, it was okay. I wasn't sure. I was like, I don't know how many times I should be doing it, how long I should be doing it for, like to start to really. But it did at the time. I really enjoyed it, and I was thinking today, I was like, oh, I need to get back to that because
10 minutes. 10 minutes is at a good time. 10
yeah,
minutes.
because that's like one part of my arms. I remember like even growing up, like just that underneath of the like when you wave your arm, the bye bye fat, my old client used to call it, but just that sort of bit just to sort of tone it up because
Yeah.
it is a big muscle and a lot of
Yeah, the tricep and then the wings. Yeah. No, definitely it works, but it's again it's time consuming. If you have time, it's great. It really works, and then it's a bit more tiring for the body to hold the position. I find the legs much easier to work on.
And what was interesting is I had a client that couldn't smell out of his nose.
Yeah.
So I said, so I bought him the facial cupping. So
Oh,
he
yeah?
just come around to mine, and you know some men still wouldn't do it. So I was like, all right, sit there. So I'm facial cupping him, and
Yeah.
after I think about 2-3 weeks, he was like, my smell was, and he hadn't ever really been able to remember to smell. His smell
It's
was
amazing. Yeah. So there is it's sinusitis is one of the best conditions to treat with acupressure and facial cupping. So there is this point, large intestine 20 on each side of the nostril. Yeah, it's called welcome fragrance. The name, and it's actually for people who have lost their sense of smell. It can really, really make a difference. And when you do cupping, if you have like sinusitis, like blocked sinus, that's really gonna help to move any stagnant mucus, stagnant energy, Yeah.
so with the
Acupressure.
how long would you press those for?
So I have a new course now about acupressure, and I say to hold the breath for the rejuvenation of the face. I said for 3 breaths minimum, so it's easier rather than counting in second to count 3 breaths. For sinusitis, 5 breaths. If you can do more, it's great. But and you can do it either with your finger or with the acupressure tool. Do I have one here? With an acupressure tool, and that really helps. That's amazing. Yeah.
Okay, so what other, because I had sinus problems for years. I was addicted to, the sprays that clear, and I was given an asthma pump as well because it got really bad when I was, I think, 28. So I was using the spray, still couldn't breathe, was using now an asthma pump just to be able to teach aerobics classes and stuff, and still having like this constriction closing and having to keep the spray in. I'd keep one at work, one in the car, one at home, because it was just constant. And since I've been doing all of this as well, I don't need anything.
Well, that's amazing. You need to write me testimonial. I mean, Amy, that's amazing. I love that. Yeah. And for example, one of the first person, she's a friend. When I started the business, I wanted to do some testimonial about people using the facial cup. And this friend, Valeria, she did cupping on herself, but it was more for the wrinkle and tonicity of the skin. But what she told me, she said, Sakina, what I'm the most impressed with, she suffered from chronic sinusitis. She snores like, we laugh about it because I've been knowing her for a long time, but she snores like the person who snores the loudest. And since she's been doing facial cupping, she told me, Sakina, I can breathe again. It's really, really, and she was a friend just doing me a favor, but she said it really, really helped her.
So is it helped her snoring as well?
Yeah, it helps the snoring a bit. Yeah, yeah,
That's good to
yeah,
know because, like, you know, there's nothing worse than having that. You know, you're trying to get sleep and someone's snoring their head off.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, but, yeah.
And it's much healthier for the body, I guess, because we're starting to breathe through the nose rather than the mouth.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing that sort of come to me as well was because something that I'm sort of stepping into, like with this online world and doing everything, is like having the confidence to create online courses. How
Yeah.
was your journey with that? Was that like,
Yeah, to have the imposter syndrome. Yeah, to be honest, I didn't suffer from it too much because it's just because again, I'm not trying too hard. You know, I'm not trying too hard. I teach what I believe in, and I've been doing it for a long time. So I didn't, you know, I am in my, I mean, I cannot say I'm in my comfort zone. You know, you have to build your course and you have to, but the thing is, like, before doing when even doing the acupressure course, the last course, I bought online a few acupressure courses to see what people were doing. I think it was really bad. I mean, I didn't find one acupressure course that I could say it's good. I mean, you know, like, even what's out there, it's in acupressure. So maybe I didn't have the right course. You know, I cannot say, but. And it was expensive, and you could have access only to the video for, I don't know. I think the quality of the thing is, like, I've done a bit of research before doing my own thing, and what was out there is not very good. I mean, yeah. So because I was a bit scared at the beginning. Obviously, you think you're gonna teach people, and especially therapists, you know, is it good enough what you're doing? You know, yeah. No, I had some. Yeah, no, yes, I had some doubt sometime. Yeah, but it's more like I've done some research and I paid for some courses, and I thought, okay, that's not very good, you know, like I could give more, you know. So I put a lot of effort. I mean, when I write the course, it took me a lot of time, you know, like I put the effort. The thing is, like, I work to try to really deliver good things, so I'm proud. It's a bit like I used to be a waitress. And if you work in a restaurant that when I was paying for my studies, when you work in a restaurant and you're not proud of the food you're serving, you know, you feel a bit bad. Whereas when you work in a restaurant, when you know the food is good, you feel better when you know you're delivering a good service. So I make sure that I try to do my best in delivering the best that I can do. And I had I only had like one person who told me, Sakina, I thought the course, a professional, you know, who told me she was expecting more. I had only one of a 600 students, you know, and she was really kind, and I gave her the money back, you know, but it happened only once. And this woman must have had like much more experience than me, and fine, you know, you have people better than you, but it's fine, you know. It's like, it's also like listening to podcasts about entrepreneurs, you know, it's like also saying, like, of course there will always be people more knowledgeable than you, but if you work on one area, you will know more than many other people, and you can still teach without any with being humble, saying, like, here is what it is. I'm not the best in the world, but here it was. You can learn something from it without that's it. Yeah. So
did you find, because I find with trying to create like online courses, sometimes it's almost like I procrastinate a bit, or I find it sometimes I'm like, oh, I have an idea and then I'll do a little bit, and then it's did you find it quite easy just to be continuous with it and just to keep filming, or would you do a little bit, take a break, do a little bit, take a break?
Well, so I recorded the course professionally, but the acupressure course, I have to say, I recorded again myself, because I hope, yeah, because the facial cupping, it went so in one go. So the thing is, like, before recording the course, I did a lot of Zoom. You know, first, like when I started, people were buying the course and they had a live training with me. But it was crazy. I mean, when I think about it, it's like I had people from Australia and America and Europe, and I have to find a time, you know. It was just not doable. And but I did many training like that, and I could work on it, and people were giving me feedback. So I redid, like doing live thing is really good. I think it's a good point to do it first live, and then you know what you can improve. And once you know what people like and how it makes sense, you can start to create the course. And I have to say, I had my sister at the beginning very much helping me. Like my sister, she has the mind. She has, and even for anything in life, she sees through things. She makes sense of chaos. Okay. And me, I'm more spontaneous. I don't. So she, at the beginning, my sister was very much involved in the business, I have to say. She helped me really create the 6-step protocol, because it's very difficult to, as you said, to make sense into something. How do you start? How to finish? And I have to say, my sister really, really helped me in that, like to condense things. But then now I understand better. So the acupressure course, it took me a long time to write, and I made many mistakes. Yeah, it took a lot of time, but now I understand we need steps. Step 1, step 2, step 3 to be able to guide people. So it's very important to have a structure. Yeah, it took me some, it was a lot of work at the beginning.
Yeah, because that's for me, it's like it's trying to do it on my own, and technology is something that doesn't naturally come to me. So it's sort of like that. And then I start doing stuff. I'm like, how are you going to put it together? And then you start talking yourself out of like, how?
Yeah, because you would like to make a course on podcast, on how to create a podcast. Or what would you like to do?
Say, for example, I'm creating a course at the moment around emotional eating, because that's something
Okay.
I grew up with bulimia. So just sort of the steps that I've taken to be accepting of the body. And
yeah. So so it requires a lot of structure on how to make it. But I use this platform called Teachable, and Teachable is really, really good, because I think they have like 2 weeks free trial, because they help you structure your course, so you can do section and then under section, and you can move the things around. So if you start, you say, okay, introduction, blah, blah. You can say, you add a video, add text, add image, so it's quite simple. And then you say step 2. And I've done my course. I just created a new course on Teachable. I have the subscription now, and it's really helpful to put your ideas together, because they have the structure, the physical structure. Instead of taking a white paper and a pen where it's all messy, you can directly do it online. And then what you wrote, you can put it, you change it so many times, but then you can rearrange it all around, and it helps you to make sense through a course. I think it's really, really good.
Oh, that's really good. That's really helpful to know.
Yeah, you could try that, because it is true. Anything, it's chaos, even facial cupping, or for you emotional eating, or anything. It's like how to make sense and to create a course that's put well together. So yeah.
And so also, like, what sort of got you started with acupuncture and things? Like, what got you into that, or curious about even going down this route?
Oh, it's a long story. Okay, so I studied actually economics. Economics in France and in Canada, and then but it happens like in Canada, I read a book about Buddhism, and suddenly my life is like, I don't want to do economy anymore. I want to do something more helpful for people. Okay. So I radically changed my life when I was 20, went back from my year in Canada, and I wanted to meet a Buddhist monk. That was my aim. I thought that's the meaning of life. I want to meet a monk. And I moved to Toulouse. And I met very quickly. I was in Toulouse, and I had a leaflet about this. It was a nun. I said, I thought only monk, only men were monk. I mean, I didn't know. And it was a teaching on anger or something. And I went to the class, and I was like, that's it. That's the meaning of my life. So I dedicated my life to very quickly. I went into the Buddhist center, got into that's it. I was into it, and then I moved to the UK to be in the Buddhist center, And over there was a woman who had Bell palsy, actually, paralysis, Bell palsy, and she was saying that only acupuncture helped her. And I thought, okay, let's redo some studies and study acupuncture to do something helpful. I wanted to be helpful, That's it.
So yeah, it's interesting. 'Cause I was thinking today, like, when did I make this change? Because I used to work in an office and working with
Yeah.
kids, and then it was just a person that said to me, "Oh, you should think about being an instructor." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't know that was a job." And then it, like, literally, it's like one thing can sort of click your mind.
Yeah, that's it. One thing clicks. Sometimes one thing clicks. Yeah.
So was you? Because you said you were studying economy. Then was you sort of used to? Because you seem like a very high performer and like work hard and dedication. So I really resonate with how you are. But was you like that at school as well? Like everything was
No. No, that's what is really important, to find your path. I mean, I was when I passed my is GCSE baccalaureate in France, when you are 18, I think it's level A, right? Or GCSE, I don't know. A level.
A level was 6. GCSE was 16, and A level I think was 18.
18. So A level, you have to choose what you want to do. And I was like, I have no idea. And it's actually, I was like, I don't know. And it's actually my mom who said, well, why don't you study economy? And I said, okay. And I was like, I really, really didn't know. And actually, I remember, like, I had one friend, we were having the result of the A level, and she was saying, I'm going to study Chinese medicine. And I was like, oh, you're amazing. How come you have this, I wish I had this thing inside of me, knowing what I want to do.
That's it. I was feeling today, I was like, it's very overwhelming, like confusing. And it's even knowing that Chinese medicine is an option to study, or, you study acupuncture. It was almost like I was only made to feel like, because I studied forensic science, but
okay. Interesting.
But I did 3 months, and I remember getting 3 months in, I thought, I don't want to spend 3-4 years doing this. And then I was like, what am I going to do with my life? And then I got a job in an office, and then I was, again, like, it just paid what it needed to, but I just felt really unfulfilled.
Yeah, totally. That's why it's important to listen to your gut, but we don't learn that at school, right? We learn a lot of things that we don't need to be in tune. Like, I remember my sister, she had from, I don't know, very young age, she had somebody in her class, maybe he was 12, he wanted to be, how do you say, cleaner for dogs, not cleaner, but like the one who do
a groomer?
A groomer for animals. And I was thinking, that's amazing, from so young, what you want to do, and to listen to what there is inside, and then when I found so for me, when I found Buddhism and then acupuncture, I know I was on the right path, because you work, and then I worked so hard for acupuncture. I worked so hard, but I enjoy doing it, like for my business, like when I was in the Buddhism thing, I worked so hard, because I also, where was for economy, that was a struggle.
Was you like that at when you were studying the economy, though? Did it feel like something was missing, or did you just sort of just get on with it?
Well, after the second year, I had the opportunity, there was a link with my university, or with friends, I don't know, with Canada. So somebody said, oh, you could study in Canada. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to Canada. So I went to Canada, and that was freedom. I mean, I did a lot of things apart from studying. We traveled, and we discovered life, but I was 20. And that's why I started to be more in tune with what I had inside of me. So from this year, I was like, happy. I don't know.
I guess, so you've explored, and you had an opportunity to sort of recognize what made you feel good.
Yeah, exactly. And it's important in life, not to follow your own path. But I think sometimes we're trying too hard to be like others. But it's whatever it is inside of it, whatever path, it's like a path of groomer for animals, or traveling the world, or whatever it is that is resonating inside, and to find this thing, whatever it is, it will make you work hard, because you're you don't work hard. When you work hard, when you like somebody, something you like, it's like you put the effort and then it works because you put the effort, but it's not it's a pleasure.
How has it been? Because obviously you're a mum of two, and
Yeah.
husband still work. I'm guessing he's working from home or doing something. How has it been like? Has there been a shift in how the relationship with the children and the husband has been since you've changed the career, like changed how you do things?
So thanks. I have to say thank you to my husband, because he's like really, really, really supporting, because I work a lot, but I have to also be grateful for having children, because every day I have to pick them up at 3:30. I have to leave the house, which means my day starts at, my husband takes them to school or to the nursery, and I have only from 9 to 3:30, which is a short day, and then weekend, but what is amazing, because if I could, they make me stop. Okay, so I'm not very well balanced. Like, I'm back in Shoram alone. Like, my kids are still in Spain. I'm alone for 2 weeks. I'm doing a yoga retreat as well, surf and yoga retreat on my own. I mean, it's great. I have 2 weeks in August. I just do something like that. But yesterday, I mean, I'm not proud. And yesterday I finished work. It was 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, even like I have to stop. Like, but I love what I do as well. But having a family makes me more balanced, I have to say.
Mm. And it just sounds like your life is really, like you said, like you're sort of living a lot more, like it's a lot more free, I guess. I'm just going to shut this door 1 second because he's answering. Yeah. So you get to sort of travel around a lot more, and would you have sort of took time out like this in your old way of working, or old job, or would you have?
I had to be physically present. Like, we were on holiday, I was working. Like, I can work from anywhere now, which is amazing. I always, it's in Corsica, like we went to Corsica. It was the first time I managed to disconnect from work. When you have your own business, it's very difficult to find a balance. As I said before, having a family helps you to be more balanced, because you have to stop to be there for the kids, the husband. So that's that. I'm actually grateful to have a family, because otherwise, I don't know. Yeah.
That's what it's funny, because I was doing some work outside today, and then it got to, I think it was like 3:30, and I'd been up since 6, like doing all my stuff and bits and pieces, and I was like, when is enough? Like, when do? Because again, as like a single woman with no kids, it's just like, oh, when do? It's like that's when I get really overwhelmed, because there is no button for
there is no off button, exactly, and I think you have to work double hard. We think having a family is hard, because you have to take care of the kid. It's true, but being on your own, it's like you have to make your own. You have no kids to pick up at 3:30. So when do you stop? Exactly, It's
it's almost like sometimes I get overwhelmed. I'm like, I just want someone to tell me what to do, or how to do it, or just have that person. And then you think, oh, am I being needy? Like, and it's lovely that you've got your sister as well that sort of guides you. It's just such unknown territory now. It can get really scary, but exciting.
No, having somebody, you're talking about when you have a business, or in life in general, having a business. Having somebody it's very important.
So that is it's just trying to juggle, like, and then there's also this, I'm really lucky, because if I do want to finish at 3:30, I can then do exactly what I want for the rest of the day, or like you said. And do you find that with your work now, since you've had your own business, you get to do different things and have different experiences? And like you said, you had a photo shoot yesterday, or like, so stuff like that.
I would say I've been connecting with people. It's a new kind of relationship. Like, I think I've met some really, really, really amazing people. I have new relationship with people through the business, and it's something I didn't really have before. I had colleagues, but it's not the same. Like, now I have to, I have, even with my suppliers, even with people at the distribution center, people, the photographer, like, to have a business relationship. Relationship toward. I really enjoy that. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel since I've left the gyms, like there was lots of people I loved when I worked there, but
Mm-hmm.
the connections I've got now since having my own business, just they, because there are obviously strong connections I got through my work, but
Mm-hmm.
something about your tribe or it's like
Yeah,
your soul family.
yeah. It's very strong. Yeah.
Mm. So what's the sort of vision, or have you got like sort of ideas for what you might be doing in the next like chapter, or is it sort of what's your
I have to say, no, I don't. I would like, honestly, I would like to have a clear vision of where I want to go, but I don't know. I go with the flow. I don't know. I can really tell you, I don't know. I know I would like to make a course with somebody called Francesca, who is, low battery. Oh, well, have the connection. To make another course, gua sha and facial cupping together with another acupuncturist, but we just need to find the time. But then long term, I have no idea. In 5 years, a lot of people say you need to know where you want to be in 5 years. I have no idea. I mean, I'm not good at planning. Like even the video, like when I see on Instagram, Instagram coach, they say, prepare your content, in the one day you prepare your content for the month. No, me, I said, I'm going to make a video. Let's make a video, but I don't prepare it, and then I post it. So I'm not very good at planning and I have no idea.
I guess for me as well, like when I make a video or do something, even when I teach a class, I have a rough idea of what I'm going to do. I know I need to make something, but it's almost like it's just trusting that flow. And
Yeah,
if I feel called to do something, I will just take action on it.
yeah,
So I feel like I'm a lot more in touch with my intuition rather
yeah.
than thinking about it more.
I feel the same. I mean, yeah.
So what just to sort of like wrap up, because obviously you're a busy mum and you're working, like so obviously you're on a yoga retreat as well. Like what is your self-care? Like how do you look after yourself?
So the first thing is to listen and trust what there is inside of me. Like um, not to force anything. And I think it's even with my children, when we talk about education, positive education, whatever, I don't force, I think it's so to try to be really in tune with my needs and to listen to to listen to my intuition, to not force, to not try too hard, to work hard but not try too hard. So for me it's like very important. And then what I do for self-care, you mean like more beauty wise or
just for you, like just to feel good
I go to the gym, so I live it was a business. So I wake up, my husband takes the kid to school and I go to the gym. So the gym, I need to have the gym, when I stop at the lockdown, at first I was trying at home, a lot of people, but then now the gym or the walk during the winter, I walk with my friend. What else do I do? I have, I think friendship is very important. So friends and I don't know what I do. It's difficult to say, I move the chi, I move. I just try to listen to my, I don't know. I try not to worry too much, to go with the flow, to not think too hard,
And you're on a yoga retreat, so I'm guessing yoga is part of you enjoy yoga?
No, I'm really bad with yoga because
oh, interesting.
I'm doing a surf and yoga retreat. It's surf, but it's the stuff that interests me more than the yoga. No, I try to do yoga because I know it's good for you. But you're a gym, you're an instructor at the gym. You were, right?
Well, I haven't been physically and trained in a gym since really lockdown now. Like since I used to be obsessed with the gym. I was there
me too.
every day, and then lockdown happened. I was like, oh, you just need your body. And that for me was like this penny drop. And I like training outside now. I train indoors. But for me, but I guess I was going somewhere and realizing I was always trying to get away from myself to go somewhere else. But now I just feel really happy to do, and it's nice. It's nice being with people, but I also like my own space. I appreciate my own space a lot more now.
Yeah. That's good. That's a good thing. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, no, I'm like yeah, more yeah, I like things that are more intense than yoga, but yoga does, you know, now I'm getting older, you know, I need all the stretch and the, you know, in China everybody from 60, well, I'm not 60 yet, but they do tai chi, they do qigong to work with the energy, and I try as well with the yoga. So but I prefer surf in a way, you know. Yeah,
But
I prefer when it's moving, you know.
to
But
be fair, when I first tried yoga, I hated it. Like I hated it, and I was into all the hardcore training in the gym and stuff.
yeah,
Now I like to just lay on the. I do yin yoga a lot
oh, you
now.
do yin yoga, yeah.
Oh my
Uh-huh.
god! Because again, like, and I was just feeling because it helps with all the joints. So I was feeling
Yeah,
the cupping as well would probably help lubricate some people's
yeah,
joints as well. Thinking about that.
yeah, definitely, yeah, yeah.
Oh, well, thank you so much for your time. It's been really
Thank you, Amy. I don't know which direction. We didn't know which direction it would go. We went with the flow, and it is what it is now.
yeah, no, and it's so inspiring to hear like how you just made a change and then you've just followed your intuition and just created your business. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun, and we all have now. The thing is, like every time I meet someone, I talk them into a business idea. It's like now you see business everywhere. It's gonna be,
Yeah.
everybody has something. Everybody has something.
Well, they say we have enough ideas for 10,000 lifetimes, but it's
Oh, really?
just taking action and having that bit of
Yeah,
confidence.
yeah,
You know, there's been things I've tried in the past and they haven't maybe worked out or something. And even when I got into the instructor job, like it was hard, like first of all getting into it and then it's
yeah.
trying something different. But what's interesting is you've gone from teaching live to like recordings now, which also is where I'm sort of looking to head towards a little bit.
Maybe you could try with that. You
Yeah,
could try that, because if you do a rough idea and then you take maybe a, you know, a friend, you don't need to have a stranger, you know, somebody that can listen to you, and you need to time yourself, and they could give you feedback. It would be maybe a good thing before you create your course.
oh,
Yeah,
thank you so much. And
thank you, Amy, to you.
I'm going to stop the recording. So,
Yeah,
and I'll put all your details below as well. Oh, thank
great.
you. Really
Thank
good
you,
fun.
Amy. It was fun. I hope so. I hope it's
Yeah,
good. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. It was. It's like I said, it's really good because it's showing like women that we can, you know, create a business from nothing.
yeah, it definitely, yeah, and yeah, to not think too much, to do what you like. Even somebody has a good recipe for a strawberry tart, you know, you can make a course about strawberry tart. You don't need to. It's good as well to have a niche, you know, to not, you know, be a chef. Yeah, there's so many ideas, but yeah.
Yeah. But no, oh, thank you so much. And
Thank you, Amy. Thank you so much.
enjoy your yoga and surf. Funny because I went surfing and did yoga and I hated the surfing, but I like the yoga.
You like the yoga? Yeah, really. Whereas me, I'm rubbish in both, I have to say. But just being
I
in the water and trying to jump on the board, you know, I just think
was so bad. I think maybe if I was to try it again, but I went years ago and I said to my friend, I'm just going to film that. That's it. That's it. Watch him. Oh, well, have an amazing time. And
Thank you so much.